Hello, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. And my boy Erik, I hear I'm going to get to spend some time with him and bring him back from the what dimension? 11th? 12th?
Well, we're going over to the fifth dimension, but the Akashic
Yeah.
records, you'll find them from the fifth dimension. I think they're probably would be considered more maybe ninth dimensional. We'll have to
Okay.
ask him when we get there.
All right.
But yeah, so he says, first of all, I love you, Mom.
I love you
And
too. You know that.
yeah, he says, I do know that. And so he had the idea this time, let's try something a little bit different. Let's start with your session. We're going to go to the Akashic records. And after we do our work there, we'll come back and talk about it, because you can work through the Akashic records to take care of things like family genetic patterning, where there's been like things like abuse and especially autoimmune things, autoimmune
Oh,
diseases.
I
Even
got all
back
sorts of
to
autoimmune
generations.
stuff.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Hey, so you do these sessions, these Akashic record sessions for people, right?
right, right.
Go to embody-light.com
Mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
find out and to
Yeah.
schedule it. All right, good.
And before we get started, I'll just tell you there's a couple ways we can do it. One, um, I can, lead you up over to the other side, and we'd lead you over to, it looks like a library with a lot of books that contains the Akashic records. If you were to get your book, it would be like a living book, like you'd open a page and a scene would unfold.
It's probably in the genre horror, right? Horror and all tattered.
No. And so your Akashic record contains everything you've ever done in all of your lifetimes, but also all future lifetimes and all future potentials. And so you can do it from that side, or you can bring your vibration down into the layers of the earth, because the Gaia grid and the Akashic grid are interwoven. So
Oh,
you can do it from that space as well. And with the energy and the way things are today, that's kind of almost a better way to do it. It's less airy fairy etheric,
okay.
and because Gaia herself is a spirit that is trying to clear and release herself,
Okay.
because every war, every thing that's not good that's happened on the planet, she holds memory in her body.
Poor
And
thing. Jeez.
so you ever hear of like a battleground where people will see soldiers still fighting?
Yeah.
What that is, that grid is still holding on to that memory, and it's still playing out.
Oh,
It's an
God.
energy.
Poor Gaia.
Yeah. So she's had it rough. So you want to get started? Should we do your session, and then we'll bring Erik back with us, and we'll talk about the session and more about the Akashic records.
Sounds good. Go for it.
Okay. Okay, so now with Erik with you, we're going to ask him to assist. And I'd like you to focus on one of those crystals you see on the walls that contains the knowledge of a lifetime where you did not have any autoimmune diseases in your family. Okay. Now, focusing on that lifetime, you can silently ask your DNA to instruct your DNA in this lifetime. And Spirit is coming through with the messages that when there is diabetes in the family, for instance, what that really is a manifestation of the inability to digest the sweetness of life. So pick a lifetime where there was sweetness, where there was love, and where there was abundance. like that your DNAs from those 2 lifetimes have aligned. Okay. And now, as we were speaking of earlier, in regards to your dad, and the issues you're holding heavy in your heart around the inheritance, we're going to ask your dad to step forward now. Erik can help him. And can you let me know when you've got connection with your dad there? Okay. All right. So, Elisa, I want you to bring that situation up that happened at the end and imagine it in as much detail as you can. And using your mind's eye, feel where it is in your body where you're holding that low vibration. And as you focus on it, breathe love and light into it. And watch it transform and lift. And I'd like to call forward some angels. And as they step into the space, we're going to do some work on the cording. So a very loving energy of an angel comes forward. Okay. From your solar plexus, we're going to ask her, and we're going to reconnect you to your children, but first we're going to ask her to disconnect you from your children energetically through the umbilicus, the energetic umbilicus. And when that's complete, disconnect your energy from you have like an umbilicus to your parents as well, an energetic one. I would like you to disconnect the one from your dad. And the angel will help him to reconnect that back into himself. And when you feel like that cord is completely disconnected from your solar plexus, let me know. So now we're going to take your energy and we're going to plug you directly into source from your solar plexus. We're going to connect you to Father God's love. And feel yourself making that strong connection. Connecting to source. Feel the warmness around your solar plexus as the connection solidifies. And let me know when that feels complete. Connecting into the divine masculine energy. now we're going to reconnect. We're going to ask the angels to reconnect all of your children back to you through the etheric umbilicus. And now they too have a pure connection to the divine masculine energy. And let me know when that feels complete. All right, now so I'm gonna have your dad talk to you for a while to help you get some clarity on this. I asked him last night as I was kind of preparing for our session what all of this was about. And what I got was this financial thing went back, it felt like many generations. I asked your dad what happened, and I immediately got stabbed under the right shoulder blade. I could feel myself getting stabbed. I then felt a pain in my left rib. I felt myself being knocked to the ground and kicked in the left hip. And I don't know what happened. If your dad would like to provide any clarity on that, but that went back generations. And he carried that forward. And Erik, could you explain to your mom what it was? Was this a past life that she was involved in or something that your grandfather remembered? Or what was that all about? Can you explain anything to your mom? Let me know what you get, Elisa.
I'm not getting anything. He's keeping his mouth closed.
Will you ask him to shake his head if I was getting something accurate?
Yeah, he said yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So he's telling me it's not important what your relationships were in that lifetime, but that he did carry it forward. And he's asking you to break this pattern and break this cycle now so that you can move forward. Do you feel like all of the energy has been cleared up around this where you can move on? Because he does love you and he is sorry and he wants the very best for you.
Maybe with him, but with my sister, that is still there.
His sister, okay. All right, let's work on her energy from this. Because she's the one who talked him into it, correct?
Right, giving her everything.
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to have you do is bring that situation up and imagine it again in as much detail as you can. And let me know when you've got that image of your sister. And this is for you, not for her. Okay. Now, center in your heart and allow your awareness to go out the top of your head, connecting you to your divine self or spirit and the unconditional love grid. And ask your sister's higher self to join you. Now, is there anything that you need to tell her? If so, in your mind, tell her now, and let me know when that's complete.
tell her higher self, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and typically the higher self is more reasonable than the personality level. All right, so was that complete? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does she have a message for you? If so, listen and let me know when that's complete.
Okay.
Okay. Now ask your spirit to completely neutralize this core disturbance or old pattern. Give great thanks as your heart opens to all of the forgiveness needed to bring this old pattern or disturbance into complete neutralization. And keeping your eyes closed, bring your awareness into your body. Feel where the core disturbance or old pattern is and how much it's upset your life. Feel it in your body and imagine it in as much detail as you can. And imagine this feeling as a ball of energy just sitting there and letting go of all worries, emotions, judgments, or concerns related to this feeling. Feel it without judging it as right or wrong. Just see it as it is, energy. And now use your mind's eye to move the energy from where it was in your body into your radiant heart just above your physical heart. And as this energy is in your heart space, hold it there as it transforms into love and compassion. Stay with this energy, having it expand, filling your entire body, surrounding you from head to toe. As this light fills your body, breathe it into every cell, and now see it expand out wider and wider in front of you, behind you, out both sides, from the top of your head and out through the bottom of your feet. See it expand into your world and out into the universe. And let me know when that feels complete. Now, let your sister know that you are taking back all of your power for your spirit's purpose and returning any energy of hers to her. Take it back, take it all back, and give it all back. And when that energy exchange is complete, let me know. Take it all back and give it all back, taking all of your power back from your sister. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to come through with this sword of light from the fifth dimension and to cut all ties between Lisa and her sister energetically that are out of resonance with love. And when that's complete, Archangel Michael, please bring your sword of light back to the fifth dimension. And let me know when that feels complete.
Yeah.
Do you feel lighter towards your sister?
Mm-hmm.
So now your dad asks if you have any questions for him before he lets you have a little bit of time with Erik before we have the two of you come back.
Okay.
Okay. question for you, if you could answer your mom. Is this complete for her? Does she have more work to do around the forgiveness piece with the sister and the dad? Or does it feel pretty complete from your perspective?
No, almost, but no.
Almost. Okay. What does your mom have to do? My suggestion would be every day to say a prayer and send white light and white love to her sister and her father. Do you have anything else to suggest, or should that take care of it?
A loving letter of closure.
That's a good idea. Releasing your sister.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good idea. Okay, that's something you can work on. And as far as the DNA work we did with the Akashic Records and the autoimmune tendency in your family, is there more work that needs to be done, or has the process been started and it'll all work out now?
It's been started and it'll work out.
Okay, great. And you'll guide us along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa, why don't you let me know when you're ready to come back? And remember, Eric's coming back with you this time.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So just the two of you, go ahead and stand up. And Erik, I'd like you to take a hold of your mom's hand. And we're going to have you raise your vibration into the magenta, the teal, through the bottoms of your feet, making a connection with the root chakra. And Lisa, drop an anchor into the earth. And from where you're sitting, just have Erik join you. He's going to hold on to your hand and stay right with you for the rest of your session. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes.
Well, who's supposed to do the magenta teal thing, Erik or me?
Well, both of you. You'll just raise your energy and your vibration.
Okay.
Into the magenta. Is it hard to come back that way? Do you want me to bring you back how I normally do?
No, let's just do this. I just didn't want to make sure.
Okay. Just raise your awareness. You're in the magenta to the teal. And then bring your awareness into your feet and into your root chakra. And then start feeling your physical body. Erik's sitting right there with you.
Okay.
Right next to you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and we can do our channeling.
Debriefing. Wow, that was really interesting. Gosh. But I don't know when to stop the cut, so you'll have to let me know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Bye.
So we're back. We decided to try things a little different this time, and Elisa's just kind of coming back to her awareness of her surroundings. But we did an Akashic Records session today, and this time we started with the session, and we did something a little different. We asked Erik to come back with her instead of sending her back on her own, because Erik's just chiming right in, and he's already said, "I love you. Good morning, Mom." But when he's had a session with someone, it is not uncommon that he spends time with them that day. Like that video we saw with the green streaking. He said that is not at all uncommon, and I hear it from my clients all the time that he was with them through the day.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
So he says that's really what he wanted to do today, to have you really practice feeling his energy and knowing he's right there and he's sitting right with you. And you could even ask him to touch one of your hands or something, and you'll feel a little bit of a tingle. Hmm?
I feel like he was right here. When we were in the cave, I was holding this side. But then as we started to come out of that dimension of the cave, I switched to holding this with this hand because that's what I was used to doing in the physical. When he would
Oh. Yeah. So we did an Akashic Records session. And I guess so what we could talk about that for a little bit. One of the things we worked on was a family history of autoimmune problems. Because basically, when there's an autoimmune problem, this is how Eric's explaining it to me. Typically, you're going to see that this has gone back for generations, the energetic setup of it. And typically with autoimmune, it's where the body has gotten to a point where it's been used to being energetically attacked so much that the body takes on that attacking energy and starts attacking itself.
That makes sense.
And yeah, that's what happens. And so like we were talking of earlier, like diabetes is always the inability to digest the sweetness in life. And that was like something your father had.
Yeah. My two sisters, two of my sisters have one died. The other one has diabetes. And then, my husband's died, but that doesn't count. Okay.
The other point he's making out too, a lot of times the reason why we see an autoimmune disease show up after the birth of a baby is because
like I see a lot of patients with thyroid, like Hashimoto's thyroiditis appear after birth.
Yeah, it's because the pregnancy is so taxing on the body. The body gets weakened, and that tendency that was going to be there gets set in.
Yeah, it's triggered.
Yeah. In my family, I could just point out, we had a lot of autoimmune diseases. There's lupus, there's rheumatoid arthritis, there's Sjögren's, there's MS.
Yeah.
And in our family history, it goes back very, very oppressive energies almost from the beginning of time, like spiritual oppression of women. And so it's just they've taken it on. And actually, when I first started on my spiritual path, I was getting sick. I was getting arthritis type symptoms. I was very clearly told by spirit I needed to make some changes because I was headed towards like a lupus type thing.
Oh no.
And so I did a lot of work around it. It did not ever develop into lupus, and it has not shown up in my children. But my aunts and my cousins, it runs wild in their families.
Okay.
So you can do the work, you can do the forgiveness work. What you do is you go in, and this is what we did, because your Akashic record contains the record of every lifetime you've had. It also contains all future potentials. So we go into the Akashic record and we ask our DNA to link with the DNA of a lifetime where we did not have that affliction. And so that's what we did today. And so Eric confirmed for us while we were over there, the process has started.
Good.
And this can happen to the degree that if your children are carrying those genetic tendencies, when you do your work, it can disappear from their potential.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It's a very powerful thing. I've got a channeling on my channel about sexual abuse. That often goes back generations.
How can they find that?
If you just go to my embody-light channel, I've got videos listed. I did a channeling on that one.
Your website, embody-light.com?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll put that as a title splash on this.
Yeah. Well, Erik says just go ahead and touch on this briefly. Doing hypnotherapy work, I have worked with so many women, and when you get in there and you start working with them, when they've had a history of sexual abuse, you'll find that it happened to their mothers, and it's happening to their daughters, and you're going, what the heck is going on? Well, this usually in this generation, what we're going through now is for the mothers that are carrying all this pain, if they have had a history of sexual abuse, their children are born into that pain. Knowing they're being born into it, they come into it. Sometimes those children will choose to actually be abused themselves. So that the mother will go, okay, this stops now. This stops with my generation. And takes the necessary steps to make it stop happening. When I've done sessions, I've had, I thought it was Mother God come through and actually disconnect. She went in. This is what she did. The mother was in so much pain when she realized what was going on. She went in. She disconnected all of the umbilical, etheric, energetic umbilical cordings from the mother. Disconnected the children from the mother.
Okay, right.
Went to the mother, disconnected her umbilicus from her mother, which was what started all of this. That's where their abuse started in their family with her mother and a generation before her. They disconnected them. They connected the mother of the daughter who had just been abused, and the mother had been abused, back into Mother God, and then reconnected the children back into her. It completely rearranged the genetic structuring, the DNA potential for that to happen. And that being that was with us, I can't say for sure it was Mother God, but that's what I thought it was, told her that that would never show up in her family again.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways.
Offer, girl. I mean, you guys got to check out her site that I just put on.
Thank you. Yeah. There's just a lot of things we can do with the Akashic Records that can help. And as I was explaining to Elisa before we started, you can either go up to the other side if you want. It looks like a library. You could be led there. They would pull out a book. You'd open a page. It's like a living scene. You'd see it. You could interact with it. But the way I like to do it is to go down into the center of the earth, because the Gaia grid connects with the crystalline grid and access the Akash through there. It's a much more grounded way to do it, and we can also send healing and love to the earth while we're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we did, and Elisa hung out with Erik there, and we did some work around, some...
We're going to hit my bud. We're going to hang out some more, huh, babe?
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
So much, and thank you. I need to ask you one thing when I push the stop button.
Okay.
Thank you, Erik. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you all.
Okay. Love you, Mom.
Bye.